Hello students. Well, today we will start with the first session for 10th standard science. Now before starting this session, let us do one activity. Well, this duster, it is there at a particular place. It is not showing any sort of movement. But I, a human being, is able to move from one place to the other. So the basic difference between the two objects, that is the duster and a human being, is the fact that the duster is non-living and I myself a living organism. So the difference between both of them is the duster does not possess life and I, a human being, possess life. So therefore, the chapter that we shall focus on today is the life processes. Now, what do we understand by the word life processes? So let us dissect and separate the two words, life and the processes. Now, I myself, a living organism, am able to do a lot of activities in my day-to-day life. Let us talk about the digestive system. So, inside the digestive system, the main process that is taking place is the digestion. So, digestion is a process which is helping my digestive system to do a lot of activities. Likewise, the respiratory system has respiration as a process. So therefore, these processes are helping me to maintain my life. So these processes are said to be the life processes. So let us go into the definition of the life processes. So, life processes, the processes which are taking place in the body of the living organisms to maintain themselves, to sustain themselves, are said to be the life processes. So the processes that will be helping us to maintain our life, they are said to be the life processes. Now, which are these processes? Let us see them one by one. For the first one, nutrition, respiration, circulation, excretion, the control and coordination, reproduction, and the movement. So these are the various processes which takes place in the body of the living organisms to maintain their life, and therefore they are said to be the life processes. Well, talking about the first life process, that is the nutrition. Now, whenever we see an athlete running very fast, we find that yes, that person has a lot of nutrition inside it. That is, the energy inside that person is helping him to run very fast. So what do we understand by the term nutrition? So basically, it is the process of the entire process of ingestion of food. Then after the ingestion of food, we have to convert them into easily absorbable forms. So it is converted into easily absorbable forms, and then transportation to different regions of the body, that is the cells where it is required. So that is the entire definition for the nutrition. Now, from where do we get this nutrition? We mainly get this nutrition from the nutrients. So what are these nutrients? So the nutrients are the substances that will be mainly providing us the raw material and the energy content for the cells. And we get this nutrition from a proper balanced diet. And this proper balanced diet, it mainly consists of these substances, that is the carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and water, along with various other minerals. Fine. According to the modes of nutrition, we have the two basic modes, that is the autotrophic nutrition and the heterotrophic nutrition. The heterotrophic nutrition is further categorized into the saprophytic, the parasitic and the holozoic mode of the nutrition. So these are the various forms of nutrition that we see in our day-to-day life. Now talking about the first one, that is the autotrophic nutrition. Now if we divide the word and dissect the word auto and trophic, basically auto means self and trophic means feeding. So it is said to be self-feeding. So here the organisms will be preparing their own food with the help of four major things. And these four major things are sunlight, water, the carbon dioxide and the chlorophyll content. And the best examples of the autotrophic nutrition are the green plants. Moreover, numerous algae and bacteria are also there, but we shall focus on the plants. So basically plants prepare some sort of organic food. So what kind of organic food is prepared by plants? So the main food that is prepared by the plants is the carbohydrates. And this carbohydrate is ultimately taken up inside the body of the plants and used for various purposes. So ultimately plants use sunlight also for this process, just as we have discussed. And therefore, as a result of the use of sunlight to prepare carbohydrates, this entire process is said to be photosynthesis. So something is prepared with the help of light. Photo means light and synthesis means to prepare some sort of thing. So the carbohydrates are prepared with the help of the sunlight. So therefore it is said to be photosynthesis. Furthermore, how do plants obtain these four major things? That is the sunlight, water, the carbon dioxide and the chlorophyll content. Well, talking about the first one, that is the carbon dioxide. Well, mainly plants obtain the carbon dioxide from the minute pores, minute holes, and these minute holes are known as the stomata. These stomata are mainly present on the surface of the green leaves. And as carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere, from the atmosphere it will be entering into the stomata and then through stomata into the body of the plants. So inside the structure of a typical stomata, we can see that the minute pore or the minute hole is said to be the stomatal pore. It is surrounded by a pair of bean-shaped or the kidney-shaped cells known as the guard cells. And these are the guard cells that will be helping in the opening and the closing of the stomata. Now, how they do so? Now, when the guard cells, they are taking up water. When the guard cells, they take up water, ultimately they swell. And as a result of this swelling, the guard cells, they open up and the pore is open. And when these guard cells, they lose water, they shrink and the pore is closed. So that is the first thing about the carbon dioxide. The second one, that is water. How do plants get water? Well, plants basically get water from the soil. The roots, by the process of diffusion, they absorb the ground water from the soil, and through the roots they take up the required water. But along with the water, a lot of minerals are there. They are also being absorbed and is utilized by plants for various purposes. The third part, that is the chlorophyll content. Now this chlorophyll is a green colored pigment mainly present inside the chloroplast of the cells. Chloroplast is an organelle mainly present inside a cell. So this chloroplast is ultimately helping in the process of photosynthesis. This chlorophyll pigment, it will be trapping up the sunlight and helps in the transfer of the substances, that is the carbon dioxide and water, to produce the carbohydrates and the release of the oxygen. And the fourth major content, that is the sunlight, and that sunlight we get from the nature. So ultimately during this entire process of photosynthesis, we get a photosynthetic equation with 6 molecules of carbon dioxide reacting with the 6 molecules of water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, mainly giving rise to the glucose, which is a type of the carbohydrate, and the release of the oxygen. And during these entire process, a lot of events are taking place. So there are 3 major events which are taking place at the time of photosynthesis. Which are the 3 major events? The first one is the absorption of the light energy. So the chlorophyll that will be absorbing the light energy. The second process, the conversion of the light energy into the chemical energy, and splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and the oxygen content. So the light energy is basically converted into the chemical energy. And the third step, that is the reduction of carbon dioxide into the carbohydrates. Reduction means the addition of the hydrogen content and removal of the oxygen content. So these are the 3 major events which are taking place at the time of photosynthesis. When talking about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, hetero means the different parts. So here basically the organisms will not be preparing their own food. They will be depending on others for the purpose of nutrition. So therefore they are said to be the heterotrophic organisms, and the nutrition performed by them is said to be the heterotrophic nutrition. Well, there are 3 major categories in case of the heterotrophic nutrition. Which are they? They are the saprophytic, the parasitic, and the holozoic mode of nutrition. Well, talking about the first one, that is the saprophytic. Now whenever we hear the word saprophytic, then 2 major words should come in your mind, that is the dead and decay. These are the 2 major words, dead and decay. In Hindi we basically pronounce as mara hua and sada hua. So those organisms who are eating the dead and the decaying organisms, that is after the death of various organisms, we might have seen a lot of bacteria attacking on them. So therefore they are said to be the saprophytic organisms. A lot of bacteria and fungi are there in this group of organisms. The second one, that is the parasitic. Now let us give one example of it. Now if there are two organisms, organism A and organism B. This organism A eats food from organism B. So this organism A is getting benefit. But the food is taken away from organism B. So that organism B is getting harmed. So such an organism who is getting benefited, that is said to be a parasite. And the organism who is getting harmed, that is said to be the host. And such kind of relationship between the parasite and the host, where one organism is getting benefited and the other organism is getting harmed, such a kind of relationship is known as the parasitic relationship, and such a kind of nutrition is known as the parasitic nutrition. Well, here also a lot of bacteria, fungi, they are there in this group of organisms. The third one, that is the holozoic mode of nutrition. Here mainly the food is taken as a whole. So mainly the organisms who come under this category are the humans. We take the food as a whole, then we chew the food, we gulp it properly, and then that food enters our digestive tract. We don't harm the organism, just as in case of the parasites or the dead or the decaying one. We belong to the category of holozoic, where the food is taken as a whole and then it is properly churned and digested inside the body of the organisms. Well, depending upon the modes of obtaining the food, we have the three major categories of the organisms. They are the herbivores, the carnivores and the omnivores. Well, talking about the first one, the herbivores. Herbivores means the organisms who eats only the grasses, like the cows, the sheep and various other organisms. The second category, that is the carnivores. Now these carnivores are also being categorized into the two major parts. The first one, that is the carnivores who eat other herbivores. They are said to be the primary carnivores. And the second one, they are the carnivores who eat the other carnivores. They are said to be the secondary carnivores. So likewise, we have the two major categories in case of the carnivores. And the third one, that is the omnivores, who eat both the plants as well as the animals. The best examples are the humans. So humans come under the category of the omnivores, eating both the plants as well as the animals. Thank you very much. Well, in the next session, we shall continue with few more subtopics of the heterotrophic mode of nutrition.